On this world, the past is not a memory. It is a scar. A wound that never heals. And a story that has no end.
Mission log, planet designation XT-1138, classified by cartographers as Terminus, a geological dead end. Atmosphere, thin, inert. Surface temperature, -80 degrees Celsius. Signs of life, 0.
Our probe, Vagabond, began its primary mission to confirm the planet's final geological death. For 12 cycles, the data was unchanging. Rock, dust, silence, a world without a present.
Its instruments searched for the smallest trace of biological matter, past or present.
The results were always the same. Volcanic rock, sterilized by eons of hard radiation. It was the perfect graveyard. A monument to entropy. And then, a reading that made no sense. A massive, transient energy surge, deep beneath the surface. It had no geological signature, no magnetic field, a ghost in the machine. We altered course to investigate.
But when Vagabond arrived at the source coordinates, there was nothing.
The energy was gone. The silence was absolute. We ran the diagnostics a dozen times. Every sensor on the probe was functioning perfectly.
The only remaining explanation was that the data itself was the error. A phantom. A ghost in the machine.
We were about to log the event as a sensor error. A ghost in the data. And then, we saw it. Rain. On a world with no water cycle for 1 billion years. It wasn't real. It was a memory. In that moment, our mission changed. We were no longer geologists. We had become archaeologists of time itself. The echo lasted for 7 minutes. Then it vanished, as silently as it appeared. We were left with an impossible photograph. And a single, overriding question. If the past is not gone, how much of it remains? Our mission protocols were rewritten. We were no longer looking for minerals. We were hunting for memories.
The next reading was 1,000 times stronger. A tremor in space-time. And its source was inside the rock.
We witnessed the birth of the canyon, a river of fire, 1 million years old, flowing through the present. The echo was a perfect recording. It had light, it had energy, but it had no temperature, no mass. It was pure information. For a long time after the echo faded, there was only silence on the comms. The impossible had become observable. We began to see the pattern. The echoes were not random. They were geological scars, forever replaying where they were born. If we were right, we could do more than just witness the past by accident. We could predict it. We began to see the world not as a dead rock, but as a sculpture, carved by the ghosts of time. We encountered smaller echoes on the way, not just visual, but auditory, the sound of an earthquake that happened 1 million years ago.
Each new piece of data confirmed our theory. The map of the past was becoming clearer.
The journey to the predicted site took 3 more cycles. We were heading to a place the geological maps called the Empty Basin. But the maps were wrong. The basin wasn't empty. We had arrived just in time to see a mountain that died 1 billion years ago stand up to greet us.
A mountain range that had turned to dust before life began on Earth.
Standing before us in perfect, silent majesty. To drive through a mountain, not through a tunnel, but through the memory of a mountain itself. The laws of reality no longer applied.
And there, inside the ghost of the mountain, we found another, older ghost.
A memory within a memory.
The mountain echo faded. In its place, the ghost of a sea that had vanished before the mountains were even born.
And in that sea, there was life. We were wrong. This world wasn't dead. It was haunted by every life it had ever known. We could only guess at the ecosystem that had thrived here. An entire biosphere, living out its life in a silent, repeating loop.
It wasn't just fauna. The planet remembered an entire aquatic ecosystem, vibrant and full of impossible color.
And just like all the others, the memory of the ocean had a finite length, a beautiful, tragic loop. But the ghosts left clues, fossilized diatoms, physical proof that the incredible vision we had witnessed was not a dream.
The fossils created a map, a breadcrumb trail left by time itself, leading us deeper into the past.
The biological echoes were fainter, older. But our sensors found a place where
their signatures converged, a place of great importance.
It was a pilgrimage now. To what, we didn't know. A graveyard. Or a sanctuary. The trees were not like ours. A biology based not on carbon, but on silicon. Life, but not as we knew it.
We found the source. A forest. One that had breathed its last an eon ago. Terminus was alive again. A perfect, vibrant symphony of light and memory.
And in that forest, the final migration. An entire species.
Forever marching towards a destination they would never reach. You begin to forget that they are ghosts. You feel like a witness, a part of their long-dead world. And then we understood. This wasn't a migration. It was an evacuation. They were fleeing the first echo. A memory of an escape that failed. A race against a past that had already won.
We had found the memory of life.
Now, we had to find the memory of the day it all ended. But what were they running from? The oldest echoes were behind them, the most chaotic, the very first scar in time.
All the echoes we had witnessed, geological and biological, pointed away from this one location.
A place the planet itself seemed to fear. Here, we found the oldest echo, the first scar. It wasn't a memory of a thing, but a memory of a moment, the moment time itself broke. The echo wasn't just a vision, it had physical consequences. The very fabric of space-time was unstable here, threatening to tear our probe apart. The data was insane. For a fraction of a second, every cycle, the planet remembered, not being alone.
Was the cataclysm, the origin event, the birth of Terminus. Our sensors could read the ghost data. It was a world teeming with life.
A world completely unaware of its own imminent end.
A planetary impact of this scale should mean annihilation. But here, the laws of physics had a different interpretation.
The impact didn't just shatter the planet's crust. It shattered its timeline.
The event was so violent, it was branded onto space-time, forced to repeat itself. The planet was now a recording, stuck on a permanent loop. And our probe, a silent witness from the far future, was caught in the shockwave of the very first echo as it was being born. On our screens, a billion years of history compressed into a single, terrifying second. The probe's last act before system failure was to transmit the core data of the cataclysm, the origin file. The data it sent back in those final seconds was the most valuable and the most terrifying of the entire mission.
It told us how the planet's curse began.
But it would take one
final discovery to understand the most terrifying part of the Echo.
Against all odds, its core systems survived. It had recorded the birth of a ghost.
Systems rebooted. The Vagabond was alive. The great storm of the past had passed, leaving only the quiet present. But the silence was wrong. The temporal sensors detected a new echo, one that wasn't there before. An echo with a temporal signature of 0. An echo with no age, a memory of now. There was only one place it could be coming from. We came to this world as observers, archaeologists. We read the planet's memories, believing we were separate from them.
But the law of Terminus is absolute. Every significant event leaves its mark. Every scar is remembered.
We waited. The youngest echo on the planet. Our echo. We didn't know what to expect.
Would it see us? Would the loop be broken? Or were we doomed to watch ourselves forever?
And our arrival, our intrusion, was a very significant event.
The echo of our landing had already been recorded, branded into time. We were now a part of the permanent collection. An eternal loop. The probe that arrives, that discovers the rain, the lava, the mountain, the cataclysm, and that will, eventually, arrive here to watch itself begin again. Our own voices, calling back to us from the past. The first words of our story, now the first words of its eternal prison.
We came to study the past of a dead world.
And in doing so, we sacrificed our own future, becoming another of its ghosts.
There was only one thing left to do. Not for science, but for mercy.
A new echo in the endless museum of time.
Our echo, forever.